Today's AskReddit post, students teachers of Reddit, what's the best forgot to turn off the mic story during virtual learning? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one, let's get started. Well, it happened in one of the classes. The teacher was going through a rough time and the class could feel it. We assured her that we had done our homework and that she could take rest for the time being. She agreed and told she would switch her mic off and sleep for a while. As we did whatever, her husband was right beside her and the mic wasn't turned off. She told, "I am so lucky to have these students," and started sobbing to her husband. We all heard this, but kept quiet to prevent her being embarrassed. She slept well during that time and we sent her a thank you gift collectively. This is by far the happiest post here I've seen. The stuff teacher dreams are made of. Good teachers make this happen. Love on your kids the right way and they will love on you right back. I make shit money, but I ducking love my job. Good on those kids for taking care of their teacher. I teach for an online university that requires me to conduct a weekly live session. One morning I was lecturing and a student popped in late. I said, "Hello, student name. Thanks for joining us," she said. "Don't say my name, bitch." Just before she realized her mic was on and turned it off, I just laughed. All future interactions with her need to be prefaced with, "Yes, she who must not be named." Double quote. The unnamed heathen child. The bitch we'll never know the name of. She, whose name I am not worthy to speak. Ironically, my IT teacher forgot to turn off his mic and camera and proceeded to get in a very heated argument on the phone with his ex-girlfriend who he has a kid with. Did I mention that she's also a teacher at our school? Yeah, most awkward 5 minutes of my life before he realized. Probably also the most awkward 5 minutes of his life. Most awkward moment was when he realized he wasn't muted. Wasn't that awkward for him to do it? During my English class, this one girl forgot to mute herself while my teacher was talking. She almost deafened all of us on the Zoom call answering her mother's questions. Her mother, from a distance, "What class are you in?" Her, yelling, "English." Her mother, "Oh, the hot teacher?" Her, "Yeah, that guy." Now, even I'll admit my teacher is fairly attractive, but it does take it to another level when you get your own mother involved. Thankfully, our teacher is a chill guy and thought the whole thing was just kind of funny, and kind of just gave a general reminder to the class to keep mics muted. She didn't say anything for the rest of the class. Hell, it probably made his week. Even good looking guys don't get that many compliments, so yeah, your hair looks nice. LOL, imagine the person you replied to was bald. In a math class I was in last year, we were taking a test, which you have to turn your mic on for, their way of trying to prevent cheating. Some girl apparently forgot that hers was on and started belting out "Stand By You" by Rachel Platten at the top of her lungs. It went on for the entire song and she was still humming it when I finished the test and left the call. Dude, my one teacher forgot to turn off his camera and his son was changing in the background and the son kept on looking at the camera. I remember a similar question where a mom answered that she was taking a Zoom call in the garden, until a co-worker mentioned that there was a naked kid skateboarding behind her. Bart Simpson. Bountiful penis. Amen. When I was doing an online algebra camp, the teacher forgot to turn off his mic while we were supposed to be doing some problems. He said, "I ducking hate math." As a math major I can confirm that the better you are at math the more you hate it. As someone extremely shitty at math, I can confirm that it goes both ways. I'm okay at math, but goddamn do I ducking hate it. My teacher got scolded by his wife, another teacher in a school, because she needed to work and he didn't repair her computer. He was a computer technology teacher and he just keeps saying, "Sorry honey, I forgot. I won't do it again. I promise it will take 2 seconds to fix it." In loop because the wife went on a little rant of how he always forgot things. When he saw the mic was still on he blushed and after a moment of silence just went on with the lesson. Edit. Thanks for the award. Grinning face with clenched teeth. Of how he always forgot things. When he saw the mic was still on, he blushed and after a moment of silence just went on with the lesson. A moment of silence for his pride. LMAO. A few years ago during one of my exams, our professor brought her husband to help distribute scantrons because it was a big lecture hall, and she was just dogging his ass out the entire time. It was really uncomfortable to watch. How do people tolerate behavior like this from their wives? My ex once just lit me up in front of her friends about not filling up the car with petrol before leaving for the event, and I was out of that relationship by the next weekend. I still think about how embarrassing that was for me. Girl forgot to turn off her mic and started screaming at her parents in Chinese. I wish I understood what she said. After a few minutes, she gasped loudly when she realized she didn't mute it. Good thing not many people understood. It was Chinese class. OP is just failing. It was China. OP is just dumb. It was China. OP is just Google Translate. In a thermodynamics class, one of the students said, "Holy shit, this is so much," after covering a large set of equations related to fugacity. Everyone found it relatable. One of my professor's classes had a student say something like, "I just joined 5 minutes before class and this asshole is already teaching." The professor just laughed and told him his mic was on. In one of my classes, this girl wrote in the Zoom chat, "This is so ducking boring," not realizing that the professor could see it. How stupid do you have to be to do that? I mean, it literally says, "To everyone." Wrong window? Maybe she also had a private group chat going with friends. Pro tip: there's no such thing as a private chat group in Zoom. At the end of the meeting, the host can access the transcripts of all chats, including private chats. Edit: it appears our IT people were incorrect during training. Apologies for the misinformation. But for all of you who are freaking out right now, maybe be smart and use a second app to chat with your friends and colleagues during Zoom meetings and class. Don't duck around on apps that another person has primary access to. What? People do not know this. I guarantee it. My office has switched from Zoom to Teams, but I'm always afraid of typing commentary in the meeting chat versus a private one. Not a mic, but an elementary student left their camera for a moment and the mother walked by naked. Guessing she asked him to leave the room so she could change or something, not realizing the camera was left on. Edit: I just got back on Reddit and saw the reaction. Wow, far and away my highest upvoted comment. Would not have guessed that this one would blow up. Reddit is too thirsty. Stacy's mom has got it going on. She's all I want and I've waited for so long. Stacy, can't you see? You're just not the girl for me. I'm not a student, but work in the tech industry. I've been in meetings where people forget to mute themselves on large company calls, with hundreds or thousands of attendees, and we'll hear a fart and then a toilet flush. That's about as interesting as these meetings get though. Same. We had an update about a reorg that was supposed to be very serious because everyone's job was on the line. There were like 1 KPPL on the call and the VP couldn't get a word in because there was always someone unmuted in a room filled with babies operating a jackhammer or something. Also there was a toilet flush, which was hilarious. The image of a room full of babies operating a jackhammer is awesome. I hope none of them were fired. Don't you get it? A single 8-year-old can do the work of a dozen babies in that capacity. Significant opportunity for a reduction in labor costs. Not virtual, but I was a guest speaker at a music college last year. My mic was still on when I finished. Went backstage and said, "Well, that was ducking horrible." I wasn't called back to speak again. Edit: for those curious of the aftermath, I heard it out of the speakers and an immediate uproar of laughter ensued. I would have laughed had I been a student, but as a working professional it was one of the single most awkward experiences of my life. The students probably loved it. Can confirm. I'm student. Would have loved it. I had a student give a smart-ass response to a question I asked, and before I could respond his mom starts chewing into him and hitting him with a chancla. His mic and video was on for the whole thing. Edit: for all those asking, I did not report the single mother who took time off from her only remaining job during a pandemic so she could make sure her sons were able to access their education. didn't strike me as abusive. I did call her after school to talk and let her know I would keep her updated on how her son was doing in my class so that, hopefully, between the two of us, we could keep him out of trouble. Some of you all clearly didn't grow up around Hispanic families. La chancla is part of the culture. Edit 2. Clearly hit a nerve with the last one. Abuse is not okay. I have reported and will continue to report abuse. What I witnessed was clearly not abuse. Context is important. What was the question and response? I gotta hear this. Also sorry if I'm not responding to all the comments. Edit. 4 more messages have popped up while I was writing this. Edit 5, edit 6, edit. I'll just stop and read them. Can't believe my first thread on this place is actually working well. Honestly, I can't even remember the question, but he said, "Fuck this gay shit. Just a dumbass 8th grader trying to look hard on his first week of online classes. Def chancla worthy." I had a student's boyfriend, both college, walk up behind her on Zoom, reach into her shirt, pull out her breasts, and start doing a little boob dance. She was just laughing and playfully slapping his hands away. This was probably 30 seconds after I had just gone through my whole speech of making sure there was nothing in your browser history, Google search history, or names of folders that could be embarrassing or offensive. They probably knew. He was establishing dominance over the rest of class. Titty T pose. One time in an art class, separate from my school, my dad knocked on my door. It was dead silent at that point. Everyone was working on their projects. I clicked the mute button and yelled what? Question mark? Turns out my mic was already muted and I turned it on. I startled the entire class and the teacher asked if I was okay. Edit. I know everyone hates these, but WTF, I was not expecting this to happen. And I got my first award. Thank you. Somebody in my class forgot to turn off the mic and started singing along to a song and loudly. Somebody told her and there was this odd whoop noise and then she cut off. LOL, this happened to me once minus the mic part. When I was about 9 we used to go to painting classes during summer vacation. And one day we were painting some rocks or something and I was singing in my head and suddenly the whole class started laughing. Turned out during the loudest part of the song I sang loudly. When I was 8, I went to a hotel with my dad and in the lobby bathroom I started singing Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More Time. When I came out, the people in the lobby clapped while having a good laugh. I was more than a little embarrassed. And then everyone clapped. An amused face. Wait. During a virtual gym class for my high school, a girl forgot to mute herself during a workout and yelled some obscene things very loudly. It never occurred to me that there would be virtual gym class, but it makes sense I guess. Also they should allow obscenity in schools, especially in gym class. Creative writing and computer programming. Can confirm programming is a bitch. Print. Hello ducking world. Print. Fuck you world. I was visiting my best friend during a lecture and she had her mic and video turned off. She then had to join a group discussion and sometimes unmuted herself to contribute something. After that the whole class was supposed to present their results and she supposedly muted herself again. I started venting to her how wasps are considered wild bees even though they have no business being bees because they're assholes, and suddenly we hear laughter from her professor and her classmates. She forgot to mute herself. LOL. If I was talking to someone who didn't notice they unmuted themselves, I would take full advantage of it, and also nonchalantly look at the camera and smile from time to time. I'm picturing this happening but Jim from The Office doing it, with his camera look. A student's mother had the habit of standing just off camera and very closely observing her kid. I know this because one time the student forgot to disable the mic. Everyone heard how the mother was coaching the student how to act. Don't look my way. Smile. Pay attention. It was next level helicoptering. Right on the edge of abuse in my opinion. Our school has a good counselor and the student is getting help. All the teachers have been advised to limit contact with the mother and not make waves, lest she withdraw the student or redouble her controlling behavior. I worry about it. And here's my cousin on Facebook angrily posting about how schools who advise parents not to hover are obviously trying to abuse or miseducate kids, and if your school sends a letter home asking all parents to give their student space for learning, then you should immediately withdraw your child from school. Deleted. There's a fine line between keeping an eye on your children and breathing down their neck coaching their every second. IDK, it's not that fine. It isn't too bad. But during the graduating ceremony for a class, all staff were asked to attend and turn on their mic to clap at certain points so it wouldn't be awkward. One such staff member forgot to turn their mic back off and was heard loudly jokingly insulting her husband and asking for another drink whilst complaining about how long and boring this was. This was broadcast to a whole class, their parents, and anyone else listening. We stuck together and didn't tell anyone who it was, but we all knew. Mute your mics. Edit. Change the rating to more what it actually was. Maybe I used the word wrong. But we're in the UK and that's how we show love. I heard what she was saying, guys. It wasn't abuse. Oh lord. That's bad. A girl's mom, who the duck you on the computer for this early in the morning, and asking the same thing over and over. Teacher, I think your mic is on. Sounds like a lovely mother. Sounds like my mother. Who's calling you at this time of night? The time of night. 7 PM. Why are you texting and smiling at the same time? Didn't realize only joyless text conversations were legal. But alright. Why can I hear the camera noise on your phone? Are you taking nudes right now? It's called a screenshot and I cover every inch of skin just to leave my bedroom. But sure, I'm obviously taking nudes for my OnlyFans account. You know you raised me well, Mom, so why must you act silly sometimes? Edit. It's annoying but it's really not often. She's said these things a few times. I know for a lot of people, it's more frequent and their situations are actually serious. I've had it worse and it definitely wasn't from her. Please don't be ragging on my mother. She's wonderful. Why does she constantly try to make you feel like a hoe? The twist to this story is that she is trying to encourage her daughter to be a hoe and is constantly disappointed when she keeps discovering she isn't one. My son calls his tablet his fix because when I first got it and the battery would die, I'd tell him I was going to fix it. So imagine his pre-K teacher's surprise last spring when he asked me if he could have his fix now that he was done with school. LOL, I cracked up, held up the fix in question, and explained what he meant. I cracked up, held up the fix in question. Thank you, kind stranger, for the gold. I'm a student, and my teacher was talking to his wife at first. Pretty normal, right? Well, she leaves and he gets on the phone and says, "Yeah honey, my wife just left. Wanna come over?" The entire class went batshit, bro. The plot thickens. Is that what you call it? I always refer to my penis as the plot. Well then this must be a short story. Not really a mic story, but a friend of mine Facebook stalked a cute guy in their tute before realizing she was still screen sharing. And this is why you always stalk people on a different device. Sounds like you've had experience in stalking. Nah, just experience with knowing how to use Zoom. There's a setting that lets you share your screen or a specific tab even if you click to a different tab. English Zoom call. Teacher was holding us like 15+ minutes after the period had ended. She said something along the lines of keep working arduously and I responded with if she says arduously one more time I'm going to flip a table. I was not on mute. Did you arduously flip a table? I wish I could say yes, but I was too mortified at the time to flip a table, much less arduously. Heard the clapping sound of a kid jerking off. His name lit up and everything. He was recognized for his actions. Seems more like he did some hard time. A boy accidentally forgot to turn his mic off and we heard how his mom literally verbally abused him. Then he looked at the camera and realized that the mic was on, then he turned the camera and mic off. The next day he looked like he cried all day and his mom was behind the camera. I still feel bad for that kid. Edit. To the random redditor who gave me the silver award, I swear the situation will not be kept in secret. I will do as much as I can to help the situation. Cheers. Was something done about it? That I know of, nothing was said or done. Teachers don't tell people if they make a report. There's no way a student would know. And there's a chance there was already an open case. 8th grade teacher. Just to poke your brain on this topic. Between a gaming community I still admin on and a CG art community I run, I do occasionally have the need to make such reports. If you could give me a clue in on the best way to do that. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.